And welcome back, everybody, to our live weekly Q&A and fitness chat with legendary strength coach Dan John. Always,
Hi.
Dan, how has your week of lifting and all that sort of stuff been?
Well, I've got some stuff to share with you.
Oh, awesome, exciting.
So we had a wonderful Thanksgiving on Thursday. It really was great, and my daughter hosted. It was great, but we had a viral event. We all got the influenza A.
No, not a good. This isn't like social media viral. This is the bad viral.
This is the real.
The original viral event. I'm really
school.
sorry to hear that, Dan. That's a bummer.
So Grandpa got a good case of this. So Sunday night, Monday morning, I felt a wave of nausea. It's almost exactly 365. I passed out, stood up too fast, passed out again. Same stories last year in the bathroom, hit my face. So I have my tooth went through my lip, and
no way.
The nice thing about my nose is I've broken it so many times. The doctor goes, "Yeah, you can't hurt that thing." So I'm So everything here is all busted up and here. And,
I didn't even notice until you got closer to the camera. Oh, Dan, very sorry to hear that. Yeah. Oh yeah, that is. Oh, that's a nasty. Are you all right though? Everything okay?
It's hurting.
Yeah.
My kissing career has been
slightly damaged.
Yeah, I don't want to. I know a lot of our fans will be brokenhearted, and my ability to kiss right now is not as good as it was, my friends.
Yeah,
but it was good.
I had to shut down the kissing booth for a little bit.
Yeah, I got to raise my prices anyway.
Yeah, it's a good time for restructuring. Yeah,
business restructuring. Yeah, so I skipped lifting yesterday, and actually, I'm gonna probably ruck today.
Is your tooth okay though? Sorry, I have to ask. It's just yeah.
Well.
So it pushed through the lip, but you kept the tooth at least. Oh man,
everything hurts, but
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know my tooth hurts, but my face is killing you. Okay. Yes, but it's good. So interesting is anyone that's ever been a good flu reminds you about how wonderful it is just to be able to breathe, how wonderful it is to get a sleep without a coughing fit. It's funny because flu and travel, that's another reason I love to travel so much. You come home and you appreciate.
It's so true.
A funny thing about your life that you didn't appreciate before.
The classic, you don't miss it till it's gone type of deal, right?
Yeah. So as I used to remind my students all the time, they thought I was kidding, but around November or something like that, everyone breathe in. It feels great. Just remember when you got that cold and flu, or you got your allergies in the spring, how great it was just to breathe,
Yeah.
It was actually it was like a moment thing. Yeah. Okay. So
yeah, no, I'm glad you had a great Thanksgiving, but I'm very sorry to hear about the aftermath there. That's
yeah. But the weirder thing is my body weight shot up. I'm up 7 pounds.
Yeah, you would think that after a bout like that, it would be you'd be shredded, but yeah, it's crazy.
The one doctor said, "Oh, by the way, I had to get a CAT scan because at my age, I was real close to an emergency room visit. But at my age, if you fall, you need a CAT scan. But there's no bleeding on the brain, which surprised me. I constantly think I'm bleeding out, but my brain is starting. I have small amounts of calcium. That does happen as you age.
Yeah,
minor amounts, but what's good about this CAT scan is that maybe it'll be nice because I have this one, and if 10 years from now,
we see where you're at. Yeah.
I got right down here. That's where I think that's where it starts. Right down here.
Yep.
Yeah. So hey.
And again, so a little unexpected health check in there. All right, but everything clear otherwise. So that's good news, right? Yeah.
And you got to be positive about these things. Got to be positive. How about you, Pat? How's training and life go? I saw some pictures of you and the family.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, very good. Very low key Thanksgiving we hosted, which was nice. So. That was all good, and we got some snow finally here in Wisconsin. I guess I don't know if that's early or not. I don't know. Wisconsin's weird. We could Halloween is one of those things for us where we could have a Halloween that's literally 80 degrees, or it could be -10 and full of snow. So like after Halloween, anything goes, right?
They hear you.
Yeah. So we got pummeled by snow. So just been taking advantage of the simple at-home workouts because I haven't been out to Dan, I actually like to train at the gym. I'm one of those people who's not like probably most of our audience. I like to get out of the house to train, but I've been stuck inside. So just did some similar like humane burpee type of stuff. So just it's nice having those in your back pocket, and the humane burpee and those types of workouts are always just good to fall back on, to have those sort of pocket sized workouts that when the weather isn't cooperating with them, that you don't fall into that all or nothing mindset. You just get something done, right? Just get something done. Yeah.
That answers you just really circled the biggest issue I have with answering questions online. It's like, Dan, can you organize humane burpee into a workout? No. Why don't you do what Pat Flynn? You just keep it in your pocket for the days you can't go to the gym. It's there. I just organized the next 10 years of your life, because in the next 10 years of your life, you're going to have a lot of kind of weird things happen.
Yeah, and I say like humane burpee-ish because like I had my 1-year-old running around, so I had to do the swings when he wasn't running. You know what I mean? Like I did my swings not based on any time or rep, but like whenever my 1-year-old was not running right alongside me, right? So it was a disjointed thing. But we made it work, and we got a good workout in. And I guess that's a theme we could play on a little bit here. Is you just figure out ways to make it work, right? I mean, like any of us could come up with a list of excuses as long as our arm of why we didn't get the workout in. My toddlers were running around screaming, which was the case, or I couldn't get to the gym, which was the case, or I didn't have that much time, which was, all those were the case for me. But you know what? Here's the kettlebell, right?
Room, getting
it is in the emergency room, right? The kettlebell's right there. Just haul it out to the living room. I know what to do with it. We're just going to get something done, and we're glad that we did. The end, right? Yeah. So that's that, Dan. Anything you want to add to it? Go ahead.
Gentle listener, the longer you train, the more you're going to learn about these little. You got to have a list of things keep in your pocket. Like, for example, I have my hotel workout where I use mini bands and a glute loop. And people say, well, that's all you do? It's like, dude, I'm in Australia, I'm in Scotland, I'm in Munich, I'm working out. That's pretty good.
And it's so easy to overlook how good that is, because the opposite is doing nothing, but then nothing becomes the habit. And then long term, you're just doing nothing, right? Over these stretches of stressful or busy times. And long term nothing versus long term something is the absolute world of difference. It is so huge and so significant.
What a simple, funny way to say that. Mm-hmm. Long-term nothing versus yes. You win the internet this morning. That's exactly what I think. Yes.
That's what I was going for. Good. All right, let's take some questions. Let's see some stuff here. Gentle listeners, keep it coming. Put it in. All right. Let me skip past the comments. Good morning to all of you. I appreciate the comments. Just looking for questions here at this point. All right. Steven's up. He says, I had a previous question about what I could do with my Sorinex ab wheel. Now I would like to ask how to program it into my training. Should I do 2 sets of 5, 1 by 10, 3 by 8? So yeah, programming advice for the ab wheel. Dan, where are you at on this?
I love my Sorinex ab wheel.
What is this one? Is this one a fancy sort of ab wheel in some way?
It's the big broad one. In fact, I was part of the design team on this.
Oh, all right.
I was with the Sorinex family at a gathering, and I tried their ab wheel. I go, I love this. He goes, it doesn't sell. And I go, well, you know why? Because it burns your hands. They had the wheels on the insides of the box instead on the outside.
Oh.
So I walk around, 10 minutes later, runs up and he goes, look, I fixed it. And he put the wheels, the rollerblade wheels on the outside, and it was radically better. So you're welcome, universe, for just one more thing. It's a big, thick, heavy piece. It's got speed skater, rollerblading wheels on it.
You gotta look this.
And you can put your feet in it. I never do that. I did that back in the aughts. I'm not doing it again.
Oh yeah, look at this thing. That's pretty fancy. That's pretty cool looking. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say for me, I think with the ab wheel, if you're going to do an easy strength kind of thing, we're going to do it 2, 3, 5 times a week. Stick with 1 set of 10. 2 sets of 5, like is pretty good. But I always caution people on overdoing the ab wheel.
Don't do it to failure, for sure. Don't do it to failure.
And the program you should do with the ab wheel is you should do the ab wheel and just kind of, it's like loaded carries, but just a little different. with loaded carries, whatever you do is for as long or just it's great. Good for you. With the ab wheels, it's you're doing them. That's great. If you do it every day, if you do it 3 days a week, 2 days a week, it's all good. The only issue with the ab wheel is if you go too far, it does jack you up. It really does. So just always do the ab wheel with just a hint of try to come back and fight another day. Like you said, don't go to failure. Yeah.
Don't go to failure on it. Not worth it and not necessary. Yeah, I love the ab wheel. I'm going to check out the Sorinex thing, but I think it's one of the best pieces of fitness equipment that just does one thing. Just don't worry about doing anything else with ab wheel. You just do ab wheel. I don't know about the Sorinex thing, but a basic ab wheel is like $10 to $20. It doesn't take up a lot of space. It's just single function, but the one thing it does so well and is absolutely worth having.
And there's every company wants to sell the answer, and the truth is, for that anterior chain, whatever you want to call it, the ab wheel does it, and you're done. I always like this idea of what does a piece of equipment do best, and if all you had was 10 pieces of equipment, you just did what that piece of equipment did best, you'd have a hell of a workout.
Yeah. Killer apps, as you like to talk about, Dan. That's right. Good. All right. This is a question that we can't answer very specifically, but maybe we can give you some general guidance, Clive. He says, have any of you suffered from low back pain? If so, have you found any exercises that helped or anything that might strengthen the back to reduce the chance of future problems? Obviously, we can't give medical advice. We haven't seen you move, but maybe we can give some general pointers in a certain direction of how to think through these types of issues. What do you say, Dan?
Well, I've got the book, The Gift of Injury, over here, and that's by Stu McGill about back. And he has this interesting thing about walking 10 minutes before every meal for back problems.
I'm sorry, walking 10 minutes before. Before a meal. Okay, sorry, I just didn't hear the last part. Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
So, and obviously, and I got another book over here that says 10 minutes after every meal is the answer to all your
and your heartburn.
And so there's a name for it. I didn't know that. It's called a fart walk. I didn't know that.
Fart walking. All right, let's go into the title. Yeah.
I've only known that for 12 hours. I saw it in an article yesterday. I almost fell out of my chair because it was like,
great. That's going to get this video a lot of clicks. Fart walk is going to be the title. Yeah.
Yeah. After Thanksgiving, we all go for a fart walk. So, I got to tell you from my experience, I think walking is the best prehab and rehab for back injuries. I love Stu's big 3 if you have specific back injuries. What exercises to do with a back injury for your particular issues, and that's the problem with backs. Because
you don't know what it is, and that's why we can't answer this question, right? Is it a disc issue? Is it a muscular? Is it your lats? Sometimes people's lats are just too tight, and it shoots to something like that. So like it could be anything, right? And until you get somebody who knows what they're doing to assess you and see what's going on, you could at best be throwing spaghetti against the wall, and some of it might help, but at worst, you could be missing a very significant issue that actually needs specialized attention. And that cannot be, overlooked. Right. Mm-hmm.
So I will say this, I've been bedridden since Friday, and I woke up yesterday, my lower back hurt like I'd been doing racing deadlifts, because I was in bed for a couple of days as a 68-year-old. So what causes back injuries for a 68-year-old? Bed rest. Well, what's the cure to most injuries? Bed rest. So
what do you do?
So, I would always suggest, and of course, I also look on the inside too more than others. I'm a big believer in fermented foods and Metamucil and fiber to help on the other side of things.
Yeah. Just get general stress and inflammation. We talked about this before. I mean, the easiest way for me to get my old injuries flared up is not necessarily anything in the gym. It's just, go have a couple scoops of ice cream and some alcohol or something like that. Everything just flares up. It reminds me of all the injuries I've had throughout my entire life.
It's not, and you're not a bad person. It's just, that's the way these things happen. Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so best of luck to you. You got to see a specialist. People don't like to hear that, but if this has been a recurring thing, this is the prudent and wise way to go. All right. Yeah, awesome. Okay. All right. Terlunius has a question, and that question is about, speaking of alcohol, here it is. What is the daily limit of alcohol that you'd say one can have while in the process of building muscle / losing body fat? Hope my question makes sense to you. Much respect to you both.
Well, no, it's interesting because do you mind if I start?
Yeah, go. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's fascinating with when I read about fitness influencers. They're so unmoderate. It's either, here's how you get. You can drink all the alcohol you want, or it's you will do whatever. My daughter gave me a book to read. I can't tell you the guy's name because I don't remember it, but it's about it's like notes on becoming a man or something like that. And I like the book. There's a whole section on alcohol about how it isn't good for you. And then I loved how he turns brilliantly, and then he says, "How many of you had your first kiss or your first encounter of any kind with a member of the opposite sex and it involved alcohol?" And his point is, humans have been drinking a long time, and it seems to help males especially unpack all of our other issues. I found that just fascinating. Not because I'm telling you to drink alcohol, not because I'm telling you the only way a human male can be normal is after a beer or two, but if if you're going to be at my daughter or my granddaughter's wedding, we're going to drink. Okay, that's just the way we're gonna toast. We're gonna champagne. We're gonna laugh. There, first part. Part two is this: alcohol calories are funny things. Even when I work with those certain groups I work with, they actually have someone come in and teach them how to drink. Kind of the way to do it. And it's very clear that you never have more than 4 drinks. A drink would be, I guess, a shot and a half of a bourbon or 4 beers or 4 glasses of wine. Now, it comes down to this. Certain glasses of Pinot Noir will have 230 calories each. That's a lot of calories. But a shot of whiskey, tequila, vodka might be 100. I'm just going with this. If all you can have in a day is 2,500 calories, so that's 4 shots. I'm just guessing. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's 4 shots of Jack Daniels, which is probably enough shots to grease any wheels you need. And if you need more than 4 shots, then we have to have another entirely new conversation. So if it hits your macros, that's one thing. If it's communal, it's something you do at the dinner table. It's something you do in any celebration that I slide that over into. It's different. The problem we have with alcohol, especially for us Americans, is that, we got the Puritans here, we got the Mormons here, we got the, I could be wrong, but I think a lot of the born-agains, the evangelists don't drink, though I've been with a lot of them and they do, in all groups. And so we have this very interesting anti-alcohol thing that's gone. We had a thing called prohibition, gentle listeners, where in our Constitution, with right up there with freedom of speech and freedom of press and freedom to worship as you wish, we put alcohol in there. We're a funny country. I also think it's the attacks on alcohol are racist, and I don't want to waste a lot of your time right now going through that. In the same way that the attack on marijuana was certainly racist. And when I say racist, folks, I don't just mean Caucasoid versus the other races. I mean pure regional issues. So there's my take on it. It was varied, went all over the place, but alcohol has calories. You got to figure that out. Hey, I'm going to have to go grab my battery charger. Do you want to
start? Yeah. No, I'll just add a few points to that. I mean, when it comes to alcohol, from a pure perspective of physiology, it's never going to help, right? The really the only question is how much does it hinder or how much does it hurt? And as Dan was saying, as long as your calories are accounted for and you're not going way overboard, that's going to be the major consideration. But I mean, we're not just, mechanical entities, right? Purely quantitative. There's all sorts of other qualitative factors that go into alcohol consumption. Some are positive, social enjoyment, relaxation for some people. Others can be quite negative, particularly the deleterious effects on sleep. There's one book, it's a pretty interesting book called Why We Sleep. And it's pretty firm on alcohol consumption. Dan, I don't know if you've read that book, Why We Sleep. Yeah. And his recommendation in that book is there's zero alcohol that you can consume that does not seriously negatively affect sleep, unless you have like one drink a day and it's at 10 a.m. right? Which is just not what people are doing.
Yeah.
So, on top of what Dan said, I think that's a very person by person sort of thing. If you're needing alcohol to get to sleep at night, that's bad, right? That's a different conversation. You need to address something else. At the same time, if you're worried about having a glass or two of wine at your daughter or niece's wedding, you've gone too far, I think, as Dan said. That's not going to be the difference maker between you and your fitness goals, right? So hopefully we've provided at least enough here to think about, to take a balanced perspective on the matter, because Dan's certainly right. I'd say when you go out, the influencers, it's like either people say you better never have a drop ever. Other people say, watch how much beer I can drink and how lean I am as they're taking all sorts of steroids. Yeah. That's not helpful. That's certainly harmful. So yeah, there you go. Right.
and really, I mean, watching Tiffany go through her struggles, it broke my heart, but there's I don't know. I don't even know what to say. There's a lot to it. There's personally, I don't demonize alcohol as much as some, because I just don't. I mean,
and look, there's some people that should never touch it, for sure. We're not denying that. right. Yeah. But exception cases are not the rule, though, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was reading all these funny things about Thanksgiving, how to prepare yourself for your drunk uncle who's a MAGA this Thanksgiving, and it had bullet points of things not to talk. It was a joke article, because everyone has a drunkle at who's as an expert on everything. I thought it was kind of fun. Yeah.
Our friend here has a follow-up. Oh, thanks for the super chat, by the way. Wants to know, what was the liquor that we drank when we first met, Dan? So let's go back, because it was at that event in Florida. What was that? The Net Profit Explosion event.
NPE, yes, it was.
And we were up very late that night, and we were celebrating. Dan, can you bring us back? What was it?
Yeah.
It was whiskey, from what I remember. All right, well, so I'm getting there. It's coming back, Dan. Maybe you can fill in some.
I drank Jack Daniels and Diet Coke, and I remember that because that's what I drink.
So must have been what it was, yeah.
And I go as tall as I can, and sometimes after about 2, I start ordering just Diet Coke, and everyone thinks I'm drinking heavy, but I'm not. And my natural self seems kind of drunk all the time. So it works out.
Yeah, well, I'm bibulous. That's a word that was coined by H.L. Mencken, meaning I will drink just about anything given the right occasion. But since Dan drinks whiskey and my other friend Sam, who I was there with, also drinks whiskey, there is a 99.9% chance that I was also drinking whiskey. So there we go.
And that was a fun night. And I remember there was a couple people experimenting with blue drinks. And just for the record, folks, never drink alcohol that's blue.
Yeah. So, all my years of drinking alcohol, I've never wished that it was blue.
Yeah, and
what this needs? This needs to be blue right now.
Yeah, and for me, I mean, I just, I don't know how to say this even, but I grew up. This will be amazing to you. I don't know. Tell me an event that happened in 2005. What's an event that happened in 2005?
Like a personal event or anything. A public?
Well, okay. Let's see. Okay. Barack Obama was running for president. Okay. Does that seem like
2005? Yeah. Wow.
Does that seem like a million years ago? So when I was growing up in the mid 1960s, my uncles and my dads would talk about World War II, and it'd be like it was the Dark Age. Well, that's a terrible term, but it was like studying Babylon. Okay, it was so far back in time. Well, Barack Obama running for president and today is as close as World War II in the mid 60s when I was growing up. And don't forget, these guys got no treatment when they came home. So literally every adult male I grew up with had post-traumatic stress syndrome of some kind. And I remember my dad and the neighbors would go up sometimes and they'd be doing a house project and they'd all build each other's bathrooms and everything. They built everything each other. That was a skilled generation. They did all the electrical, all the wood, all the plumbing. I can't do a screwdriver. And my mom would caution me not to go in because these guys were often crying or sobbing about something that happened in World War II. And the only support staff they had was the neighbors while they're putting in a second toilet in home. And then at the same time, those same men's sons were going off, at least in my neighborhood, to fight the Vietnam War, which I don't even know why we went to that one. So for me, if we're not going to support, I mean, I'm not going to knock on somebody who saw horrible things. My dad was involved in a battle where it was so foggy that there was the firefight was Americans shooting Americans. It was one of the most bloody fights of World War II, and every single injury was friendly fire. Well, shit, I mean, that's a hard thing to walk around with your back pocket.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So for me, alcohol is, yes, it's terrible. It's the worst thing. It's poison. Okay, you're all right, fitness influencers. And quit commenting on my podcast because I don't care. You also have to be kind about why people turn to drink or why people occasionally just have to. My friend Craig and I used to have a sentence. I would say, I drink to forget. And he would say, I drink to remember to forget. And we'd touch our glasses,
There you go. Yeah.
And it was just funny. But I don't know. I don't know why I went off that riff.
Well, perspective.
Yeah,
perspective.
Yeah.
Perspective.
That's what I'm trying to do.
All right, let's grab one more here from our buddy Kang. He says, Dan, I heard you say before that you quit rucking because it made you too hungry. Have you noticed any downsides when you stopped rucking or heavy hands? Yeah, so Dan, what's the history there?
Yeah, okay. You got to be careful how he said that. In my case, for me, and I'm literally trying just to bring my body weight down. Remember, would you say I look different than when we first started the podcast?
Yeah, leaner, stronger, harder to kill, Dan, for sure.
Well, I've always been hard to kill. Jeez.
Of course, yeah. harder to kill, right? Even more impervious. Yeah.
So my doctor went to check to see if my nose was broken. He goes, how many times have you broken this thing? I go, I know of 6. He goes, that's pretty good. I think that's the record here. So what I was noticing, Kang, is that when I was rucking hard and heavy handsing and even ankle weights, I was really putting myself under some stress. I think I've even mentioned on this podcast that one time it was in height of COVID, so we all had to have face masks on because of our friend Kevin is a cancer survivor. I had my sunglasses on. I had this new heart rate monitor that went in through your ears. So I was testing this idea. So heart rate monitor, mask, sunglasses, big heavy ruck jacket, 60 pounds at least, heavy hands and ankle weights. And we went around a corner and I just really started to freak out. I don't get them, but I would say I had the start of a panic attack and I was like, what's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
I think it had to do with COVID and Tiffany and all those other things.
Yeah, for sure.
But so after that day, I start to monitor my workouts. Now, remember, I said COVID, so that puts us 5 years ago, right?
Wow.
So remember, this isn't just me sitting around smoking pot and going and making, this is me looking at things over 5 years. I started to notice that when I did with the big ruck and the big stuff and everything heavy, that I had a hard time controlling the feeling of being famished. So in the same way that I guarantee, Pat, you have 28 children now?
About
if
that.
26 of your kids are losing their minds and they're all barking at once, there's a good chance you'll order pizza and just hope for the best, right?
It's happened. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think what happens is, think about Pat Flynn with his 38 children, all and he orders a couple dozen pizzas, and everybody's happy and quiets down. What I notice is that when I put all the load on, I was trying to I would cheap carb my way out of it. That I would eat more. Like, I never eat the rye. I rarely eat like the side of toast at a restaurant. It was then I would eat all 4 slices, 2 slices. Yeah. I usually don't add. I don't add jam. I'd add jam. I usually just eat. My breakfast is pretty consistent. It's do this. It's. I noticed that I was starting to tumble extra stuff on there.
Right.
That's what I noticed. My body's response was to go a little bit into the quicker sugars. That's just me. Now, for you, you might say, I can't eat after I ruck, so keep rucking.
Yeah. Good. Important to just have that self-awareness to monitor, see how you respond to different activities and adjust accordingly. Great. Awesome. Dan, before we say goodbye, what do you got coming up this week, aside from hopefully a very swift and full recovery?
I got an interesting week. On Friday, I'm going to a luncheon where I'm being celebrated for my generosity. So that'll be nice.
Very nice.
They're called Utah Hearts and Hands, and I'm nominated as one of their as state's nice people. So it means a lot to me. Mostly now. Tomorrow my inner circle starts. That's kind of exciting. And mostly now I'm just going to worry about my breath, and because it's rancid because of the flu, and worry about just get myself back going, 1 foot in front of the other.
Yeah, awesome. Well, very sorry to hear about the injury, Dan. I'm sure I speak for everyone. They're all wishing you a very speedy recovery, and appreciate you being here after such a unfortunate occurrence, sharing your wisdom. And thank you, gentle listeners, for your good questions and comments. If you like what you see, be sure to subscribe, share it, all that good stuff. All right, see you.
For God's sake.
See you guys next week. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.